Good.
Welcome, welcome.
I see several folks joining our Zoom room this afternoon, and we are super excited to have you. Depending where you are in the great state of North Carolina, you may have sun. If you're like me, it is raining cats and dogs outside at this time. So we're going to give folks a couple moments to go ahead and log in. We have a great group of youth with us here today that are part of either our junior youth advisory team or our youth advisory team. I'm going to give a couple more seconds for folks to log in, and we are going to get started. All right. I've noticed it has slowed down. So good afternoon. My name is Mandy Sonnenberg. I serve as the PTI manager here at the Exceptional Children's Assistance Center. Here at ECAC, we actually have two youth advisory teams, our junior youth advisory team, which is 10 to 13, and our youth advisory team, which is 14 to 26. So here at ECAC, we recognize the power and value of the voices and ideas of young people. So ECAC launched our junior youth advisory team and our youth advisory team to help us design projects, programs, and resources created for youth by youth. And we work in partnership with them to collaborate and coordinate opportunities and trainings to support their interests and personal development as individuals with disabilities. So Anastacia, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you to introduce our panelists today.
Hey, everyone. I just also want to take a minute to remind everybody of the value of self-advocacy. For our youth, this is a way for them to tell you about themselves and tell you about the things that are meaningful to them. But we really want our youth to be empowered with self-advocacy skills because one day they're going to be adults and they're going to have to be able to advocate for themselves in the home and workplace as well as their wants and needs and what they're going to need in the world to be successful. All students need those, but sometimes our students with disability need a little bit more support to do that. Some of them don't, but it's really important that we are raising up a generation that is able to advocate for themselves. So we are going to get started with introductions. We're going to start with Matthew.
Hey everybody, my name is Matthew Morcus. I am 16 years and I like playing guitar, instruments, and running. I'm on the cross country team for this year. And let's see what else. I'm just excited to be here, excited to share some tips and tricks, and can't wait.
Thank you, Matthew. Jackson, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jackson Arrow. I'm 14, going into ninth grade. I have autism and dyslexia, and I love animals, and I do a lot of camps with them.
Thank you, Jackson. Chloe, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name's Chloe. I'm 13 years old and I have autism and dyslexia. I love riding horses and I like to just kind of be outside and explore.
That's amazing. So today, while not here on camera with us, we are also going to hear from another student. Her name is Sega, and she just got back from a fabulous vacation out on the beach. We've got a picture to show you, and we're really excited that she found a way to share her input with us, even though she couldn't be here because sadly school started for her today. So we are going to get started with our tips and tricks, our successful starts of the year, what works for us. And we're going to start with Matthew.
So, what I would first do is to email your teachers at the beginning of the year, and I would email your teachers like, here's my IEP, or this is my disability, and then tell them reasons why the IEP is important to you and what the main takeaway should be for them. So, like, mine, if I forgot to say, I have hearing loss, so mine would be like no background noise, confidential seating, like sitting at the front, but this is really specific to you. And pre-teaching material, getting something before the class gets it so you can study before. So those are little tips and tricks that I would do. Just send an email, introduce yourself, introduce you to the class, and then that's what I would mainly do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Jackson.
So, kind of what Matthew said, one thing I would do to get ready for school is to make a slide that shows like your name, age, just information about yourself, like your disability and your personality and your wants. And also things like your 504 and your accommodations that they may need to know. Also, if you have trouble like getting used to a new schedule, you can print out your schedule and so you can know which next class you're going to.
Thank you, Jackson. Chloe.
So some of my tips and tricks is asking questions to ensure that you understand what the teachers are asking, staying organized so you don't miss classwork, and ask for help when you need. Make sure that your school has a schedule that's up to date so you don't miss timelines. And just ask your teachers for help. Make sure that you understand what they're asking. Tell them all about you and your disability. And yeah.
Okay. What is the best way for teachers to know what you need, Chloe?
The best way, can you say it again?
What is the best way for people to find out what you need?
Um, Asking them.
Right. We want people to ask. Let's make sure that we're not making assumptions about what our students need. Let's ask if we're not sure. Matthew has great tips because he's a person with hearing impairment and he can give a teacher great information. Chloe can give great information about her disability and how it affects her. The best way to interact with our students with disabilities is to ask them rather than make assumptions. Right, Jackson? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share Sega's tips and tricks. I'm going to put a picture just so you guys can visualize Sega with us. Pretend she's here with us. Can you guys see her? Thumbs up? Yeah? Okay, so Sega wanted to share with us today, be yourself. Don't pretend to be someone you're not to fit in. Chances are that people who show they're not afraid to be different are the real inspirations for others. Number 2, don't be afraid to ask questions. Everybody needs help, especially if you have a disability. You shouldn't hurt your education just because you don't want to draw unnecessary attention to yourself or your disability. Number 3, have a calendar or a planner to write down the due dates of assignments, tests, and upcoming activities so you don't have an I forgot moment. Number 4, turn your assignments in on time, which shows your teacher your accountability and maturity. That's a very crucial thing for your teacher to see because it sets you apart from your classmates. And number 5, always try your best, even on assignments you think don't matter. I guarantee you that your teachers will be able to tell how much work you put in, even if the result isn't always an A. So those are the tips that Sega wanted to share with us today. And before we move on, we just want to take a minute to remind everybody that you don't have to do these alone. Some of our students are going to need help and support to do these things, to set up a planner that works for them. Because what works for Jackson might not work for Matthew, and what works for Matthew might not work for Chloe. There are 1,000,005 ways that we can use to plan down activities. Some people do really well with written planners. Some people do really well with Google Calendar. We need to find what works for our students and what works best for them, just like we need to figure out what modalities of communication work best for them. Some of our students are going to do really well with face-to-face conversations, and they're going to hear what you say and they're going to remember it. Some of us are going to need you to write it down because our executive dysfunction doesn't allow me to hear what you say, comprehend it, and remember it 30 minutes from now. And so we need to partner with the students that we're working with to figure out what works for them. And at ECAC, we have a great tool called Painting the Big Picture, which somebody up here will find to put in the chat for us while I talk about it, which tells teachers about our kids. It tells them the good. What are our kids' strengths? What are our kids' challenges? What works well for them at home? What works well for them in school? What works well with other people? What do our specialists see? And this can be a great way if you don't already have something like, for example, Jackson and his mom, they have a presentation that they share with families. And I've seen some other great big all about me posters that people share, and all of that stuff is fantastic. But if you don't have a tool that you are already using, we will make sure in the follow-up to send out the tool that we have to tell people about our students. And then if you're an educator, you can send that to families as kind of like an all about me so that you can get to know your kids. I'm going to turn it over to Mandy. She's going to share a little bit more about our youth advisory team. She did put the links in the chat as well.
All right. Oh, give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. I wanted to make sure we didn't have an echo, but absolutely. So our youth advisory teams do meet twice a month on Thursday evenings, and it is an opportunity for youth to connect with other youth throughout the state of North Carolina. It is done on a virtual platform. Anastacia and I currently run the youth teams, and we live about 2 hours apart, and some of our youth live on the far west side of the state, while others live on the coast. And so it is an opportunity for them not only to just meet other youth, but it also provides them the opportunity to share their voice, empower youth, other youth through our Young Exceptional Perspectives newsletter that comes out quarterly. Our youth advisor teams also are the ones who vote on North Carolina's Got Talent. And I know I'm going to call on Jackson and put him on the spot, and Matthew, but I know you guys love some of the things that we work on in developing newsletters and getting your opinions. But how do you feel when you guys are reviewing the North Carolina Got Talent submissions? Because I know we've had some really good ones. What are your guys' thoughts behind that?
I love it. It's just a way to. Oh, you can't
You're
hear
good.
me? Oh, I love the Americans Got Talent. I love how it's like empowering everybody to be themselves, and then we get to vote. I get to act like I'm a judge. So it's really fun getting out there and finding everybody's special talent. And maybe you find something that you're like, oh, that's cool. Let me try that.
Thank you. Jackson, do you want to share anything about it?
I like it because I get to see like a lot of talents, a lot of people that I see a lot of art, and the art is very good. And also other talents like dancing, music, and even other things. It's just amazing to see other people do it.
Thank you for sharing that. We also do work with our youth on leadership. And so Jackson has been with me a little bit longer than Matthew, and all of the panelists today have actually had the opportunity to be a part of a panelist, whether it was at Western Carolina University, UNCG, wherever it has been, but they've had the opportunity to share their voice, share their story, and empower current educators, future educators, doctors, families. And I know, Matthew, I see your smile just going off. So I would love for you to share about your experience as being a part of the youth team and what that experience has been like for you.
My experience, well, I got in from Amy Combs. I was on one meeting and she was like, I really think you would like this. And I came on and everybody's been really welcome to me. It's been a really great experience getting to know people like Jackson and Chloe. And it's been really nice to know there's like more people like me and like get to know their disabilities, get to know how I can best help them, they can best help me, and how to like advocate and learn stuff along the way.
Jackson, what has your experience been?
My experience with ECAC has been pretty good. I'm not very social with other people, but I have been very social with these people, which I think is good for me. I am with people that understand me. We have a lot of fun and talk about things that help me with my disability, and so far it has been very positive.
Thank you, Jackson. Chloe, can you share your experience in participating in panels and empowering others?
My experience with everyone here has been absolutely incredible. It's been fun. I feel like I can always show me and not having to be uncomfortable with these people, with Matthew, especially Jackson. I've known these Jackson and Matthew for a little bit now, and we've all just became really good friends. And I love doing the Zooms and webinars with everyone. And it's been very fun here, and I love it.
So I felt that it would be most appropriate for our youth team to share their experience because I can show you the impact that they have made and share the stories watching each one of our youth members grow in their self-advocacy journey. I've watched Jackson grow from being really shy at panels to now he goes to panels, shares his story. He's empowering others at his school. I remember Matthew preparing for his first panel, and I said, listen, no one will know if your answer is not perfect. Just speak from your heart and your personal experience. Same with Chloe. She has pretty big anxiety when it comes to speaking in front of people. And so just navigating those challenges. But I want to encourage everyone in our audience today, if you do know a youth who would benefit from being a part of this amazing opportunity for youth in the state of North Carolina, utilize those links in the chat. There's two different ones. Our junior youth advisory team is ages 10 to 13. Our youth advisory team is ages 14 to 26. And I'm going to open the floor to Q&A if you have questions, or you can throw it in the chat. I would be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And then as a part of our grant funding obligations, we do have to provide feedback that we are providing high quality, relevant information. So Andrea, if you'll go ahead and launch the poll, and I'll let you share our upcoming segments. But if anyone has any questions, would like to, put words of encouragement in the chat for our youth teams, please go ahead.
And before we do that, I did want to take a minute before Andrea tells us about our next sessions to tell you guys that North Carolina's Got Talent, the next segment, is opening in the next week or so for turnover on the voting will happen on the beginning of September. So if you are here and you are an educator or you work with other students with disability and they have a talent that they need, can share with the world, go ahead. The application is very, very easy. We will go ahead and attach that information to our follow-up email so that you have it. But we love to see what the youth of North Carolina are doing. We have seen amazing art. We've seen amazing singing. We even saw an amazing student doing braiding and who had edited TikTok videos that, our kids are amazing and we want to show the world. And definitely feel free to look through our YouTube pages and our previous newsletters to see what some of these students are doing, because I'm amazed. Honestly, I'm sad that we can't let everyone win because sometimes a couple cycles ago we had this amazing tuba player. Like I'm just amazed by some of the students that we have in North Carolina and all of the amazing things that they're doing. So definitely if you know a student who has a talent, go ahead and tell them to apply. We'll make sure that information gets to you guys as part of the follow-up email.
Yeah, and I just added the link to the application directly, and then above that is actually our link to our youth resources on our website where you can find that application. You can find the application for the youth groups along with everything else that we do with our youth. So please feel free to visit that page. And I believe the email with the information for North Carolina Got Talent will be going out tomorrow. So you can look for that as well. And next week for Tool Time, we will have Amy Gilliam with us. She is Monarch Residential Placement Coordinator, and she will be talking to us about navigating residential services in North Carolina. So join us for that next Tuesday.
All right. So if there are no more questions at this time, I'm going to leave it open just for a minute or so. If anyone has questions, comments, I want to thank our youth because we kind of sprung this on them. And I said, who knows better than youth to give tips and tricks on heading back to school but youth, right? So I want to thank you, Jackson, Matthew, and Chloe for taking time out of your last few hours of summer to join us and to share your knowledge, your experience with North Carolina families and professionals. So thank you guys. You did a wonderful job. We are proud of you. Thank you for once again sharing your expertise. And I do not see anything in the chat at this time. I'm going to check one more time. All right. Well, thank you guys for jumping on and joining us today with our youth advisory teams to share tips and tricks when headed back to school. You guys got some great jobs. Thank you in the chat. So great job, guys. Know that you guys did a wonderful job again today. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Stay dry out there if it is raining in your area, and join us next Tuesday.
Thank you, everyone.